So guys, it's been a minute since I made a video here. Hope everyone's day is going well and all that other stuff. My day is going okay. However, I have an interesting topic I want to talk about today. Something I never thought I would actually be talking about it. But again, it needs to be talked about. It's one of those things to where it needs to be brought up and discussed and contemplated and all that other stuff. Because I honestly did not think this was an issue. I didn't even it didn't come to me that soon, so it's like a long time thing I've been going through. Anyway, this video is going to be about why I am not able to breastfeed. And it's pretty sad because I've always wanted to breastfeed. I have 5 kids now. I just had my 5th one about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was still not able to breastfeed her, and I'm very disappointed. But I'm not as disappointed as I was in the beginning of this whole journey of having kids and trying to breastfeed. I'm not as disappointed as I was at first because I had to figure out why this was happening to me. So I'll just start from the beginning. Let's see, beginning of what? Shit. I guess my first child. With my first child, of course, I already knew I wanted to breastfeed. It was like a no-brainer type of thing. Because I'm a person, I'm all about being natural, and I'm all about, you know, being as natural as possible. That's just me, to the T. So, when I had my first child, yeah, I wanted to breastfeed. So, I had her. Everything went fine there. I had a all-natural vaginal birth. No medication, no cesarean, nothing. All that went well. And, you know, of course, I knew breastfeeding was going to be painful, but come on. When I started my breastfeeding journey, you know, I told the doctors that's what I wanted to do, so I don't think they gave her any formula. So that's all I was doing in the hospital, pretty much just practicing breastfeeding in the beginning. And what threw me off was that in the beginning it was more painful than I ever imagined. Like, it was painful to the point it would cause me anxiety just to even try it. Like, whenever it was time for her to latch on, I would kind of just jump and get scared and stuff. And when she did latch on, oh my gosh, it hurt. And the nurses always said, well, the baby's not latched correctly if it hurts. You know, if it hurts, they're not latched on correctly. And technically, I think that's bullshit, because she was latched on most of the time correctly, whatever correctly means. She was latched on, and it just hurt like endlessly. And I tried. I didn't give up that fast. I breastfed Soraya for the first maybe a week and a half. And when I realized she wasn't getting much milk, because what happened was, actually no, in the beginning, I didn't have much of a good milk supply because I was underweight prior to getting pregnant. And my milk supply was not fully there. So that was one problem I had with breastfeeding. And I realized she was not getting full. She was waking up every hour, you know, screaming for milk. And not only that, but I was just totally frustrated. I was just done by, like I said, about a week and a half. I was pretty much done with breastfeeding. It was way too painful. It was causing me too much anxiety, and I was disappointed because, you know, I was frustrated. My husband was really trying to help me. My mother-in-law was trying to help me, and I was just frustrated with it all really quickly. So eventually I had to give up and give her formula because she was not getting full, and I was too frustrated to keep pressing on. And at the time, I don't think I realized that my milk was not really I didn't have much milk yet, or I didn't know how to increase my milk supply. Basically, I did not know that. I know none of that. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened there. So pretty much she just went straight on formula after that. Fast forward to when Jemian came along, same thing happened with him, except he was a C-section baby, which I was really depressed after that. I would say I probably had a little bit of postpartum depression after having him, because I did not want a C-section. It was an emergency C-section because he was a breech, and he wouldn't come out and all that. And when it came time for me to try to breastfeed him, oh my gosh, it was not working. because it seemed like he was angry. Like he was somewhat of an angry baby when he was born. He was fussy a lot. He was very, very fussy. We have this theory to where technically that little boy did not want to come to the world just yet. Or maybe he knew what he was being born into, because there was a lot of mess going on in our lives at the time. There was a lot of shit going on in our lives at the time, and we believed that he just didn't want to come yet. But it was like, okay, too late, you're here now, you gotta come out. He was not coming out. He went breech at the very last minute. His head was down the entire time, but at the last minute he was breech. So again, C-section there. I tried to breastfeed him. It did not work, definitely with him, because he was angry and he was not latching correctly, and he kept biting me. He was not willing to work with me. No, breastfeeding, I couldn't even last a week with him. I even tried using a pump. I used a manual pump at the time that we tried from somewhere, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. So I went back to formula. Went straight to formula for him again. Next child number 3, same thing. She wasn't a C-section. She was a vaginal birth. All natural, all vaginal, all that. What they call a VBAC, where you have a vaginal birth after a C-section. She came out fine. Again, I tried breastfeeding. Same thing. It didn't work. It was just too painful. I couldn't even fathom the pain. All the nurses were baffled. They were like, okay, it shouldn't be that painful. It shouldn't be that tender. Once the child continues sucking, it should stop hurting. It should slow down. It should ease up a bit. It was not easing up. Yeah, I know I'm not the most pain tolerant in the world, but okay, come on. I got used to needles or whatnot. I always hated needles. I got used to that. I had I have natural births, like natural pain, med-free births. So it's like, how the hell can I have a vaginal birth without medication? How can I handle that better than I can handle breastfeeding? It just didn't make sense. So that's just the journey I went on from, like I said, child number 3. Same thing. I couldn't take it. The pain was too much. So, but each situation I got more and more frustrated. Like, okay, why is this happening? And then we get to the point where I would just be depressed over it, and I would actually cry. I would just be really, really upset. My husband would just keep telling me, it doesn't matter. I still love you. It doesn't matter. We'll work it out. Blah, blah, blah. But I just couldn't grasp why I couldn't breastfeed, because again, all the nurses, every nurse I've ever dealt with, every lactation consultant I've ever been paired with has been trying to help me breastfeed, and it just never fully worked. The pain was unbearable to me. It was like slap your mama pain. Like you want to slam the child against the wall type of pain. No shit. I'm serious here. So yeah, it happened again with the 3rd child. 4th child, same thing. Jelani, he came along. I couldn't breastfeed with him. It was pretty much the same scenario. I tried. I always try. I always tell them in the hospital, yes, I want to breastfeed. I want to solely breastfeed, no bottles. I try. I start out that way, and I try. It's like I fool myself into thinking I can do it. But initially, I can't do it, and it's like, fuck. I always try. I don't give up that easily with breastfeeding. And again, I've had 5 kids, so it's like, you can't say that I've been giving up if I keep trying child after child, and it's the same issue. Child number 5 is here now. I tried breastfeeding with her for the last and final time. So it didn't work again. Majorly baffled again, like just distraught over it. I just couldn't fathom. So one day I really thought about it, like deeply thought about it. I was in tears and everything. I was breaking down again, because I was like, oh, I really want to give my child the best nutrition, and I just can't. Why can't I? Why is this so painful for me, but it's like a breeze for other mothers? I couldn't get it. It made me think, okay, something was wrong with my breast. Something was wrong with me. Maybe I'm just a wimp. I don't know. Kind of why. She's waking up. Wonderful. It was frustrating. Like I said, with this last child, I really wanted to get to the bottom of this. Like, why is this happening? So I did more research than ever. I've always done research, but not to the extent I went through this time, because again, I'm older and wiser now. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, I always look, I like to think outside the box. I like to think of possibilities that other people don't think about, or they might not have considered, or they just might not know. So for some reason, one day this thing popped into my head, like, you know what, I was molested as a child. What if that has to do with me not being able to breastfeed? And at first I thought I was crazy, like, okay, that's some wild shit, like, how would that affect anything? I was kind of thinking at first, like, is that really the reason? I mean, is it possible? And I told my husband, and it actually didn't seem like a foreign possibility, because you never know. I mean, our bodies do things when things happen to us that we might not even be aware of. We might not even know at the time what's affecting our bodies and how our bodies will react to it. But it happens. I mean, people go through trauma, and that particular body part, or your body itself, reacts negatively to that particular body part being manipulated or handled wrong or whatever. You know, I have heard of cases like that. So when I started to think about that more, I actually considered the fact that me not being able to breastfeed might have been because of my molestation. In what sense, I don't know. I mean, I do remember, vaguely remember my dad touching me up there. I don't remember how forceful it was, or if it was like, if it was painful. I think it was at some point. I mean, I don't remember so far back. I do remember some details of that. But I started doing research online. At first it was hard to find out information about this, but I just kept Googling certain things. I just kept Googling, you know, why certain women can't breastfeed. And then I had to go deeper. I was like, okay, extreme pain while breastfeeding, you know, stuff like that. And then I just wasn't getting the answers. I wasn't getting what I needed. So I eventually put in, what did I put in? I forgot what the keyword was. Damn it. I forgot what it is I put in. Some ties with sexual abuse and breastfeeding. Something like that. Something to that extent. And I finally started getting some answers. Like, I came across, you know, some other women who had the same issue. Who had, like, I actually came across some articles with women who had similar issues, or like the same issue, to where she could not breastfeed, and because of the pain and the anxiety that breastfeeding brought about was just unbearable to her. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, that's what I'm going through, you know. So I just started looking, started reading, and I also came across this book. I think it's like a book. It looks like an excerpt from a book. I found like a PDF with information about it, and it actually mentioned the fact that sexual abuse is a factor in not being able to breastfeed. And I was like, holy shit, what? So seeing that really helped, because I was like, wow, are you serious? Oh, I was actually right. My intuition was right. So I was just amazed at the fact that, you know, sexual abuse can hinder breastfeeding. I mean, all this time, I've had 5 kids, and I've been beating myself up for how many years over not being able to breastfeed, and I finally think I found the conclusion. I just finally think I found it, because it would devastate me when I wasn't able to. I cry every time I have a child, and it's usually, you know, when my milk is when I'm trying to let my milk dry up because I realize I can't do it. I just go into a depressive mode. I'm just kind of out of it for a little minute, and I'm really out of it. I'm really depressed about having to let my milk go, because I've just always wanted to breastfeed. I want to feel that particular type of bond with my child, and I was not able to do that with any one of my kids, and it fucking sucks. I have 5, and I wasn't able to even do it successfully with 1. So it's depressing and baffling. However, I was glad to come across the information, because more women need to hear this. There could be some other women out there like me with a similar situation, to where they've been sexually assaulted and they have a child, and for some reason they're just not able to breastfeed. The pain's too much. It's not even just the pain, it's the pain and the anxiety. I get anxiety every time the baby starts sucking. It's just, I don't know, it hurts so bad to where just gotta get off of it. It's like, again, it's like throw your child against the wall type of pain. Well, of course you can't do that. I also found it weird because I don't get that way when me and my husband are, interacting that way. That does not happen when we're fooling around and whatnot, and my husband is down there sucking. That does not happen. But with a child, for some reason, it happens. I don't know. It's of course 10 times more painful when the child is trying to literally suck milk out. I guess that's why. Because I don't get like that. Again, I don't get like that with my man. It's just with the babies, I just can't handle it. But again, I felt a lot better finding this information rather than continuing to beat myself up, because initially it's not my fault. It's not my fault that I'm not able to breastfeed. Because one of the stories I read, one of the women, she said that her nurse told her that this problem is a problem and it won't go away. When the nurse figured out what was going on with her, she said that more likely this problem will not go away, like ever. It can't really be fixed. One of those irreparable type of things you just have to deal with. And you just have to go about life and deal with it. Or, you just have to deal with it. And I've come to terms to where I just have to deal with it. I just hate it. I really, really, really hate it, because the older I get, the wiser I get, the more I realize how my abuse has affected me in a lot of ways, and how this is just a lifelong thing I'm going to be getting over. Like, is the PTSD ever going to go away? How many more issues are going to crop up? You know what I mean? Like, some of them Twilight Zone situations is like, is this shit ever going to end? Apparently not. I'm sad. I'm really sad about it. I'm really sad about it. It makes me hate the situation even more. Even though I can't do anything about it, there's really nothing I can do about it. Like I said, I'm glad to know. I'm glad to know that sexual abuse plays a part in not being able to breastfeed, because I just get severe anxiety over them being manipulated a certain way. I don't care if people say that that's not the reason, because you wouldn't know unless you were in my shoes. You wouldn't know unless you've had this exact problem. People always talk shit and they don't know the situation. So that's how it's gonna be. If somebody comes in this video and be like, you're right, you're just saying stuff, you're just trying to make up excuses and whatnot. I'm like, excuses for what? What the hell do I have to make up excuses for? I mean, don't you think I want to feed my child properly? But I just made this video because, again, there could be other women dealing with the same issue. There really could be. Just like there's a few women I found online, in those articles with the same issue. There could be plenty of other women with this issue, but they don't realize what the cause is. They might not realize. They might have been sexually assaulted, and they don't realize that perhaps the reason they're not able to take the breastfeeding pain, and the fact that brings such anxiety to you, it's just they might not know that it could be because of their assault. They might not know that. So I like helping people out. I like to be able to, that's what I made this channel for. I like to be able to talk about these things and raise awareness to help myself heal and to help others heal, to help others think about certain things, come to terms with certain things, because that's the whole point of life. You gotta figure things out. You gotta figure out why you do what you do. It's good to figure out why you do what you do, because you can come to terms with it and settle it, and you won't keep blaming yourself over and over. Because again, for the longest time, I blamed myself. I kept blaming myself like something was literally wrong with me. Like, okay, I desperately want to breastfeed. There are women who don't want to breastfeed like that, and they're able to. But me, it's just, it comes at a heavy risk that it. And a lot of times I still can't get over it. But I've had no choice. I have had no choice. Like I said, I've been depressed over this. every child I had, I would just cry and just break down, and sometimes not even want to look at them because I can't feed them the way I know I should be able to feed them. And I'd be thinking like, okay, what if there was no formula? What if there was no choice? What if we were in a Walking Dead type apocalypse right now and we had no choice to feed our babies properly? There was no damn formula. I had to feed her from my breast. What would I do then? You know what I mean? I do think, I think like that. I think, crazy. I call myself thinking about expecting the unexpected type of thing. Because we all know it's not going to happen, but I just think anyway, like, what if I had no choice? What would I do? Would I just bear with the pain? Would I just not be able to breastfeed her? Or what? I don't know. But again, I think I finally come to my conclusion because I was researching about this for the entire day. And, me and my husband, we researched together and we talked about it. And yeah, the whole situation is sad. It's just really sad. I had to go back. Actually, I had to go back. I had to make myself go back in time and have flashbacks of what actually happened to me then. Like every act my dad ever performed on me. And there were a lot of acts that were performed on me. But I actually had to go back and replay that. You know how painful that was? I had to go back and remember. Was I actually touched there? Did this happen? Did that happen? Oh yeah, it happened. It happened, but I didn't want to have to go back there for this situation, but I did anyway. I had to. I mean, again, I'm glad I don't need any crazy hypnosis for this. I have a pretty good memory. So, like I said, I don't remember everything, but I have, compared to most people, I have excellent memory. So, I do recall most of the acts that were performed on me, and yeah, it does very well make sense that I'm not able to breastfeed because of the anxiety that was brought upon me when I was younger. So, yeah, just that pain, anxiety, both of them. Again, it fucking sucks, but ain't nothing I can do. I'm just glad I know. I'm just really glad that I know. I'm glad that I know. So, yeah. Anybody else going through the same thing, perhaps they'll come across this video. And if you are going through the same thing, or you know someone like this, or something similar, let me know so we can discuss it. Because that's why I made this channel. I made this channel to be very open with people, open with myself, because I'm a very open person, and I like being real. I like talking about what needs to be talked about, because I'm tired of holding shit in. I did that my entire life. I'm just tired. I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut. There comes a point in time where you're just tired of keeping your mouth shut. And there's no reason to. Hell, I'm grown. There's no reason to keep my mouth shut anymore. I'm not scared of anything. There's no threat on me right now. So, I mean, what am I afraid of? Whoa. What would I be afraid of not releasing videos like this? Anyway, on a good note, here's little baby number 5. Look at that little baby Kayana. Oh. Oh. Yeah. She's hungry right now, so I had to keep this pacifier in her mouth in order for her to let me do this video. Otherwise, she was gonna go off and holler. Say hi, Kayana. Can you wake up? Oh. She's so little. She was only 6 pounds 1 ounce. She's like one of my smaller babies. Because I've had 2 babies that was bigger than her. In fact, 3 of them were bigger than her. What am I saying? But yeah, she's so little. Say hi, Kayana. Say hi, Kayana. Aww. She's about to try to eat my face off if I don't get her bottle very soon. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say here. Anything else? Any other comments or thoughts or suggestions or whatnot? write them in the comment box and we will talk about it. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out.